Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to today's class. Today is day 21 of our web development course. Today is day 21 of our web development course. Okay. So today we're going to look at something very brief. We're going to look at transitions. 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 Okay. So we're going to look at transitions and transformations. Transitions and transformations. But should I bring here transformations now? No, let me first see. No, there just want to look at transitions, Just want to look at transitions, Okay. So, today, just know that we're going to look at transitions. Okay. So, yesterday in our previous class, we studied about yesterday it was day 20. Day 20. We studied about grid. Okay. Studied about grid. This grid here is what we can term as auto, which can enable us to have a future where we do something like auto responsive. Auto responsive, where you have, for example, a lot of cards, and by default, since you put them in the grid format and grid template columns, they easily expand and reduce depending on the width of the screen. So members, if you missed this class yesterday, you really missed a lot. I would suggest you can go back and watch that video. It was there, and it's there in the playlist. You can check for it. This is day 20 of our web development course. Okay. So there we'll look at transitions. Okay. Today, what is a transition? A transition is I can say here that a transition is a state. Like a transition is like a change in state, a change in state of something. Okay. So this transition here, I can even add here that this transition here, it only happens when a property changes. Like for example, like hover, focus, and click. Okay. This is when a transition happens. Okay. So members, you see this, it only happens when a property changes. Like for example, when there is a hover, focus, and there is a click. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you all this. The transition, it only happens when a property changes. Like for example, a hover, focus, or click. This is when a transition happens. Okay. So before you can dive more into this, I'm going to first pass through something where we have, for example, the common, and you know these ones. There are some common. Timing functions. Timing functions, and I want you to note them down. At least you can write down this, or you can write down this in your notebook somewhere, so that you don't forget this. So we have what they call common timing functions, and we have here one is called is. Now, what does this is mean? This is here this is you're seeing here, it means that start slow, slow start. This is a slow start, eh? This is a slow start, a slow start. Fast middle, fast middle, slow end, slow, slow end. And by default, this one happens, eh? Always, eh? So this one is a slow start, eh? A slow start, fast middle, and slow end. Okay? Okay, this is what is means, eh? Get to know these common timing functions because I won't use them all the time, eh? So we have another one, it's called linear. Linear. Okay? Okay, so we have another one called linear here, and linear, for it I can say that this one here has constant speed. This one here has constant speed. Constant speed. Okay? Okay. So this one has constant speed. Okay? Okay. So we have another one, it's called ease in. Members are going to use all these things as time goes in. They're going to use this one, is called ease in. Okay? If you have a piece of paper, please note this down. Ease in. This one here has a slow start, then fast. This one here has a slow start, then it is, then fast. Okay? Okay. So this is ease in. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. Then we have another one, it is called ease out. It's called ease out. It's called ease out. Okay? Okay. So this is out here. This is out here is, for example, what does is out mean? It means that this one here has a fast start and then a slow end. So that's a fast start, and that's a slow end. Okay? Okay. So you're going to use these things a lot. Then we have another one called ease out. Ease in out. Okay? We have another one called ease in out. Okay? Yeah, remember, as you note this down, eh? You're going to use them a lot, eh? Ease in, ease out. So this one has a slow start and an end. A slow start and end. This one has a slow start and end. Both the start and end, they are all slow. Okay? Okay. So we have the last one, which is there. It's called a cubic. You have a cubic-bezier. You have a cubic-bezier. And this one here, is like this. For it, this one is like a custom curve. This one is like a custom curve. Okay? And for this one here is unique in its way. This one here is unique in its way. It will appear something like this. It's very weird. It will appear something like this. 22, for example, like this is 9. This is 9. And it will appear like, for example, like this is 27. And this one will be like 1. So this one looks to be a little bit weird. But for beginners, I think this one you will not cover it. We shall cover it in the future. Eh? That cubic-bezier. But right now, you get to know these ones here. Either there's easy, there's ease. This one is for slow start, fast middle, and slow end. This is linear, this is constant speed. Then easing is like this: slow start, then fast. Then there's ease out, fast start, then slow end. Then there is easing out, slow start, and end. Then there's cubic-bezier. Okay? Okay. So members, have you mastered this right now? If you have mastered this right now, that is very good. Eh? Okay. So there's something else. Eh? We're normally going to use something like this when you're defining transitions. Eh? After you have noted this down and you have no queries at all. But right now, before I can go into that, on day 22, on day 22, which is tomorrow, we are going to look at a new topic which is called animations. Animations. Okay? Which I can also call as keyframes. Keyframes. Okay? So members, don't miss out this coming topic tomorrow. Okay? Okay. We are going to look at animations and keyframes in tomorrow's class. Okay? Don't miss it out. Eh? It's tomorrow's class. Okay? Okay. So members, you can see this. I hope you have noted all this. You have noted all this down, yeah? So you have no queries whatsoever here. So a transition, normally we are going to use it for example like this. I hope you have noted this down and you have no error. So we are going to use a transition like this. A transition, we're going to define it for example like this. Transition, yeah? It's going to be like this transition, yeah? Then for example, I can use for example background. I may say here background, yeah, background, and I say 0.0.4 seconds, yeah, is, yeah. I see this. I see this, yeah. I see this, eh? Remember, I see this, eh? I see this, eh? Hmm? So remember, this is how transitions normally are, eh? This is how transitions normally are. Okay? Okay. So we are going to look at various things, and I would like you to keep noting them down, because various things they are interrelated. Okay. You find that in today's class they are interrelated with tomorrow's class. Eh? Okay. Okay. So today I want you to make some more research on this. Eh? I want you to come back when you are well equipped. This is day 21 when we are having transitions, and I want you to not to miss even tomorrow's class, because tomorrow's class is we are going to be talking more about this. Okay. Okay. So guys, I would like you not to miss out. Eh? Okay. Okay. This is day 21. We have that. We just covered this. It's a short topic. Yeah. It's a very short topic. Tomorrow we are going to look at these animations. Huh? So members, since we have mastered these transitions here, now we have something else, and this one here I can now remove it off. Eh? Okay, I can now remove this one off. Okay, okay. So I hope you have mastered that and you have written it down. Okay, okay. So we are going to something else before we can continue. We're going to something else, and this thing is going to be I hope you have mastered transitions very well. Okay, okay. Now we have something else here. Which is part of transitions, but this one is a side, is something which is a side. Eh? This one is what they call transformations. Transformations, okay? Okay. So what does transformation mean? Transformations. Or we can, those are which we normally call as transform. Those are which we normally call as transform. Okay? Okay. So this one here, this one, what does transform mean? A transform means basically that to move, resize, yeah, resize, rotate, and distort. This is what basically transform means. Okay. So by start doing this, you're making a transformation. Okay. So there are various types of transformations. There are various types of transformations, and I will start with the first one. The first one is what they call as scale. Okay. So you see this scale here. So members, we have here the scale. Now, what does this scale mean here? You see the scale here. It normally means that it normally means one thing. It gives the command that this one is for resizing. Okay. So this one here is for resizing, or you just resize. Okay. This is what scale means. Okay. So I want you to note something that by default here, that everything you see on the browser here, everything that you see on the browser, it is by scale. It is by scale 1. Okay. By default, each and everything that you see is by scale 1. This one is by default. Okay. This one here is by default. Note this. Note this very well. Okay. So by default, everything you see is by default. Is by default is scale 1. Okay. So what happens if you adjust and go above? So if you say that, for example, transform, then you say, for example, scale, then you say scale 1.5, and you give something like this, you say, for example, transform scale 1.5, you give it that, for example, transform scale 1.5, okay? What does this mean? That you have increased it. By default, it is 1. Then you increase it by 0.5. In this one here, the shape or the size of this thing, of that particular element, increases. So here you have deliberately increased it. You have increased its size. You have increased its size. This one here, its size has increased. You have increased its size. Okay. So even if you say that this one here from 1.5 it is now 2, it is now 3, but remember default scale is always 1. Okay. So if you say transform scale 3, we have increased its size. Okay. So if I come here and say, if I come here and say that transform, here it say scale 0.5. So guys, what does this mean? Scale 0.5, if by default it is 1, that means you have lowered it down. This means that you have reduced its size. This one means that you have reduced its size. You have reduced its size. Okay. This is what it means. Okay. So if I come here, you have understood that If I come here and decide now transform, neighbors, please try to understand. I'm trying to go as slow as possible so that you really understand. Okay? Okay. So, I have to bring this here, and this one here, and this one here. I bring this one here, this one here, this one here. Okay? Okay. So if I come here and say something like this, transform, and I say transform, and I say scale X, scale X, then I say 1.5. What does this mean? This one means you know very well that x is the x-axis. X is the x-axis, or x is means x-axis or wide. Yeah, x-axis, x, this x you are seeing there, x means something on x-axis, on x-axis, x-axis or y. Okay, okay. So if I say that if I say that this one here 1.5, that means its width. That means its width either increases or reduces. Okay? Okay? Members, do you see this? You see this, members? Okay? If I just tap on the x-axis, either its width increases or reduces. So they do something like this. This means that I have increased its width. You see? This one means that I have increased its width. Okay? Okay. So if I do something like this, for example, transform, and I do something like this, scale X, and I do something like this, 0.5. I don't mean that these ones are the default values. You can even go take it lower to even 0.1, or 0.3. It doesn't matter. But now if I say, for example, 0.5, this one means that I have taken it lower than the original, which is 1. So this one here, it leads me to, this one means that I have reduced, I have reduced its width. I have reduced its width. Okay? Okay? Everyone, are you seeing this? Okay? Okay. So members, try to understand this. This one means that if I do something like this, that means that I have reduced its width. Okay? Okay. So I hope now you are now understanding. You are now coming to good terms with this. Okay? Okay. So this is how scale works. Okay? Okay. So I have to explain something. Now okay? Okay. So if I come here and say, for example, transform, transform, then I say scale, Y, then I say 1.5, okay? Okay, so scale Y 1.5, what does this mean here? What does this one mean? Trying to fit some space here, So what does this one mean here? If the original one was 1, and the original one is always 1. If I say maybe a scale 1.7, okay? So this one here means that I can take off this now. That's why you're seeing there. That's why there you're seeing represents something which deals with. That's why represents something that means that this one is on the y-axis, or it deals with height, or height. Okay. So when you see something like this, by default it was 1. By default it is 1. So if I say, for example, scale 1, scale y, by default it's like that, or scale y or 1, okay? So if I say something like this 1.7, I mean that this one here has increased, this one has increased its height. It has increased its height, okay? So it has increased its height, okay? Okay. Members, are you understanding this right now? This is how it normally is, okay? Okay. So, if I say that transform, if I come here and say transform, then I come here and say scale Y, then I say 0.3, okay? This one means that I have lowered it from the origin. The original one is supposed to be 1, okay? It's supposed to be 1, but I do something like this. So this one here means that I have reduced its height, and you will find that this one will be very shorter. I have reduced its height, okay? I have reduced its height, okay? Okay. So members, you see this, Have you understood this very well, guys, before we leave? Move to the next thing. Have you understood this very well? Okay. So you can even take a snap. You can even write it down in your book. You can even write this down in your book so that you don't forget. Okay. So this is how normally it is. Okay. So this one I can now remove it. So we have another transformation. It is called rotate. Okay. So we have another one. It's called rotate. Okay. So what does this rotate mean? This rotate here means that simply that you spin the element around its center. Around its center. This is what transformation means. This is what I mean. This is what rotate means. So when I come here and say, for example, transform, I come here and say transform, and say, for example, something like this, rotate, and I say here 45 degrees. This one here means that it's going to rotate. Eh? If for example this shape has been straight like this, if this shape here has been straight, like for example like this, if this shape has been straight like this, and you say transform rotate, that means that it is going to rotate. It's going to rotate. It's going to rotate. Going 45 degrees. And what does 45 degrees mean? If you put something like this, let me use this one. By default, you know that there is something like this. By default, you know something like this. So that means 45 degrees. You see how it looks like, That rotate 45 degrees. It will go and almost rotate like something up to like around here. You see? 45 degrees. Okay? That means you find when it's rotating, going up to here, going up to here, like that. That's what transform rotate means. Okay? Okay. So this is what transform rotate normally does. It spins the element around its center. You find this one spinning around its center to reach this 45 degrees. Okay? Okay. So there's another that I can maybe talk about. I can even say transform, rotate, and I can say maybe 180 degrees. Okay? This one here means that it will rotate. If its position has been here, it will rotate like this from here, and it comes up to this side here. You see? You see? To form 180 degrees. It will rotate from here and comes up to this side here to form 180 degrees. Okay? Okay. So if I come here and say, you see, members, I want you to understand this. Understand this. Now, if I come here and say that transform, and I say rotate, and I say negative 45 degrees. Okay? So members, if I come here and say, for example, transform rotate negative 45 degrees, okay? So if this is where my x-axis is here, the x and y-axis they are there. So if, and you know very well that by default, this one here is uh, this one here from this side to this side here is from this side to this side here is 180 degrees. You know this very well, okay? Okay. So if I say 45 degrees, rotate 45 degrees, you will see that this one here, how can I explain this very well? You see, let me first see. You see this one here, it will rotate, it will rotate going this side here like this, You see this, 45 degrees, it will rotate going this side here. But now if I say that no, negative 45 degrees, it's going to rotate going this side here like this. Are you seeing, After it clocks 45, After it clocks 45, it will rotate going 45 degrees anti-clockwise this side here. Okay? Negative 45 degrees. Okay? Okay. So, if I come here, you understand it now, So if I come here and say that if I come here and say transform, uh, rotate, okay? Then I say negative 180 degrees, 80 degrees, okay? Degrees, okay? Okay. So if I come and say something like this, like this, By default, you know very well that 180 degrees is going to come from here like this, up to down here. This is 180 degrees. Now, if I say negative 180 degrees, it's going to rotate, starting from this side, and it goes like this from this side, anti-clockwise. Members, I understanding very well. I understanding very well. I understanding very well. Anti-clockwise. Okay? Okay. So the same applies to, for example, 90 degrees. You can even try that 90 degrees. The same applies to 360 degrees. Okay? 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 Okay. So members, you see this? It's really good. Okay? Okay. So someone could even put maybe but this one here you can do it, and right now you can understand this. Okay. So even if I say something like negative, negative 360 degrees, you understand what this one means. The difference between this one here and this one here. You understand the difference, 360 degrees means it will start from here and go up to this zoo like this up to here. Rotate 360. Okay? But now if you say negative 360, it will start from here and rotate like this anti-clockwise up to this side. Okay? Okay. So members, I hope you don't have any problem with that. Okay? Okay. So I hope you are good here. I hope you are good here. Okay? Okay. So we have something else, and this one is called translate. Okay? This one is called translate. Translate. Okay? Translate, what does translate mean? What does translate mean? Translate means that move, simply move. Okay? Okay. So, you can see here that translate here. This one moves the element across the y-axis and the x-axis. This one just moves the element across the y-axis and the x-axis. Okay? Okay. So, this one here just moves the element across the y-axis. This one, you remember, scale was increased in size, It was resized. But this one, it moves. This one moves, moves the element across the y-axis, and x-axis. Okay? Okay. So members, scale was resized or increased in size, but this one is move. Okay? Okay. So if I come here and say, for example, transform, transform, then I say transform, then I say translate, translate X. Okay? Then I say this one is maybe 50 pixels. 50 pixels. Okay? Okay? This one moves that. You see this X here, it means wide. It means wide or on the X axis. Okay? So if I say something like this, it means this one, if I say 50 pixels, that means I'm commanding this thing to move right. Okay? I'm commanding this thing to move right. That's move right. Okay? Okay. Move on the right axis, move right this side here. Okay? So if I come here and say something like this, that transform, and I say translate, I say here X, and I say negative 50 pixels. Okay? I'm commanding this thing. This one here moves that, means that. You remember, we are now dealing with the x-axis. We are now dealing with the x-axis. This one means that. This one simply means that Someone can even guess what it means automatically before even I say it. This one means that move. This one means that move left. Okay. So it means that move left. Okay. Okay. So members, you see this one is very easy. Okay. It's very easy. You can even check this one. It can even be 500 pixels. It can even be 100 pixels depending on what you want. Okay. Okay. So that is how translate works. That is how translate works. Okay. That is how translate works. Okay. That is how translate works. Okay. Okay. So you will see something like this. If I come here and give another example, that transform, I said translate, then I come here and say y, then I come here and say y, then I say transform translate y, then I come here and say 50 pixels, okay. This one says that move 50 pixels up. This one here means that you move 50 pixels up. Okay, move up. Okay, by 50. Move up by 50 pixels. Let me even add this one here. When I come here and say, for example, move left by 50 pixels. Okay, then this one here, move right by 50 pixels. As simple as that. Then I come here and say transform. Transform. Translate. Okay. Y. This one here simply means that if I say a negative 50 pixels, okay, this one here simply means that that you move. This one simply means that you move down, because 50 pixels where there's a negative is always down on that downward scale. Move down, down by 50 pixels. As simple as that. As simple as that. Guys, do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, members? So members, do you have any questions here? Okay, you have understood this very well. Transform, translate. Okay? Okay? Okay. This is good. It is good. It is good. We can now remove this. We can remove this. Okay, so we have another one. We have another one that is called skew. We have another that is called skew. We have another that is called skew. Okay? We have another that is called skew. That one is the fourth one. What does skew mean? Skew means that slant. Skew means that slant. Okay? It means that slant or distort. It means that slant or distort. Or bend, like bending towards the side. You know, I cannot give you an example. Do you see these squares here? When you have, for example, like a square, you can tell the difference between a square and a rhombus. Okay? You see this? A square is straight, but a rhombus is slanting. Or it is skewed. You see it? It is skewed. This one here is a skewed one. It is skewed. Or it is distorted. It is a rhombus. Okay? A square which has been distorted, its shape has been distorted, is what they call a rhombus. Okay? Okay. So that is how it's the same logic here. It's the same thing. Eh? If I say, for example, that let me give you an example here. I say transform, and I say here transform, and I say skew, and I say I put the x, skew x, and I say 20 degrees. Okay? Okay. So what does this one here mean? That I am skewing it 20 degrees. Oh, if I say here 45 degrees, 45 degrees, I am slanting it x. If, for example, I have something like this, this one is different from rotate because rotate is motion. Rotate is what? Is motion. For it does like this. It rotates like this. Rotate rotates. But now if I do something like this, and I have something like this, and I say skew 45 degrees, it's going to change its shape and it positions itself in the position of 45 degrees, like here. You see, it changes its shape and positions itself in the position of 45 degrees. Permanent there. Are you seeing this, guys? Yeah? It will change its shape and to position itself. Yeah? It will now become like this. It will now become like this. Yeah? It will now become like this. Yeah? I don't know if I've tried to do it right. I'm trying to do it the right way. So members, are you seeing it? It will change its shape and it does something like this. Guys, are you seeing? From the straight shape which it had, the straight shape was this one here. The straight shape was this one here. Members, are you seeing? It now changes and it does something like this. So if I come and say that transform, transform, and I say skew x, and I come here skew x, and I come here and say negative 45 degrees. Then that means this one is going to go, it's now going to be opposite. It's going to now do it this side here. It's going to now do it this side here. You see, Remember, let's take this. It's going to now do it this side here, but it's going to start going this side, and it will be like this. Take this shape here. You see this shape here? It will take this shape. You see this shape here? It will just slant this side. And it will be something like this. Remember, are you seeing? Forever and ever. It will be like this. Okay? Transform skew like that. Okay? Okay. So if I give an example, like for example, transform. Transform. And I say transform skew. Then I come and say maybe y. Then I come here and say 15 degrees. 15 degrees. Okay? Okay. So this one, what does this one mean? That this one here is now we are now targeting the y-axis. So it's going to look for a way of positioning this or changing the shape to fit what? That y-axis, depending on the type of degrees. But depending on the y-axis. Okay? Okay. Members, I understand this. Understanding this. This one will be vertical, but this one will be horizontal. So guys, I understand this. This is just skew. Just like distort the shape. Distort its shape. Okay? How it looks like. Okay? Okay. So that is skew. Okay? That is skew. So if you have any questions, please you can ask there in the comment section down there. That's what skew means. Okay? Okay. So we have something else that we want to cover, and now we have, for example, matrix. We have another one called matrix. But this one here, matrix. Matrix. What does matrix mean? Matrix. This one you see here, this matrix here is a little bit more advanced. For now, for the beginners, you may not cover it, but just get to know, just get a hint about it. This one is a little bit advanced. This one is a bit advanced. Okay. This one is a bit advanced. Okay. But just get to know it. Advanced. A bit advanced. Okay. This one here combines. This one here combines. Combines multiple transitions together. Combines multiple transitions together. Okay? Together. We saw the other transitions which we had. Combines multiple transitions together. Someone can say, if I come here and say, for example, and I come here and say transform. Transform. Then transform, and I say here matrix. Matrix. Okay? Matrix. Then I put something like this. 1, 0.5, 0.5. Then I come and say something like this. Negative 0.5. Then I come here and say one. Then I come here and say 50. Then I come here and say something like 10. Okay? Okay. So that one is going to combine multiple. Transitions all together. So this one you're not going to use it right now. We shall use it in the future, but you just get to know it. Let's get to know it. Okay? Okay. So members, those are the only types of transformations that we have. Okay? Those are the only types of transformations that we have. Okay? Okay. So tomorrow we're going to look at animations. Okay? That's where now the sweet part begins. Okay? The sweet part begins from here. Animations and keyframes. The good thing, we have mastered transitions, you have mastered transformations very well. We have mastered transformations, you have mastered transitions very well. So everything is just going to be really great. Okay? Okay. But it will not be good if we leave today before doing an example. If we leave today before doing an example. Let us do an example, at least one. I come here. My lessons here. I come here. I said this is day 21. I come here. I'm going to move pretty fast because I want someone to understand this very well. I'm going to say here day 21. I come here. This is the folder that I have. I say here open with code. Open with code. Okay. Come here like this. I come here. I say index.html. Index.html. And I come here. I say style.css. And I come here like this. I say, at least let's even have done an example. Let's see if we have done an example. Okay, so okay, style is there and index is here. Okay, I'm going to come here. I do something like this. The image is there automatically. I come here. I'm going to link here the CSS. You come here. I say link CSS. I link the CSS there. I come here. I say browser reset. I say come here. I say margin. I say margin. I say 0. I come here. I say padding 0. Come here. I say box sizing border box. Okay. After doing that, I come here. I say here dot container. I come here. Okay. Okay, I can just come and say dot box, dot body. I can just come here and give body. Come here, it's a body. I give it, for example, width 100%. And I come here, you say height. I give it, for example, 100 VH. And I come here, you say it's like that, okay? So I'm going to come here, you say dot box. Okay, my dot box is here. I want to come here, I say dot box. I give it here, for example, width. I said this is width 200 pixels. I come here, I say height. I say also this one is 200 pixels. And I come here, I say background color. I give it, for example, orange red. Okay. So I come here, I say go live, and we see what we have. Okay. Go live and you see what we have. Okay, it's there. Okay. Now I'll put it in the center. Okay. I'll put it in the center and I see how it looks like. Okay. Come here in the body. I say display, flex, align items, center, justify content, center. Okay. So it comes in the center by default. Okay, you see it's there. So having understood that, now we want to apply some of our things. Okay. So having understood that, now I'm going to come here. I use something called the hover property. I come here and say dot box, dot box hover. Okay, dot box hover. Then I come here and say, can even come here and say background color. Or I can even use, instead of background color, I can maybe just make it background. It's still the same. I say background, okay? And I change this one maybe to orange. I want to bring something that you can really see, okay? It's there. So when I come here and say background, when I hover on it, it should become, for example, like red. Okay? Red. When I hover like this, it becomes red. Are you seeing? When I hover, it becomes red. Are you seeing this? Okay. So when I hover, I want even cursor pointer. Okay. When I hover. But cursor pointer is better when I just bring it on what? On the box itself. Cursor pointer. Okay. So it's like this. Okay. When I hover like this, it becomes red. When I hover this, it becomes red. Okay. So now I bring in my scales now. I come here, I say transform. Now guys, we learn these things very well. Guys. We learn these things. We have learned these things. We have learned these things in this lesson. Come by, it says scale. And you know what scale does, okay? You know what scale does? I come and say 1.5. Like that we have been doing, okay? Okay. And I come and say 1.5, automatically it must grow big. You see this? Guys, are you seeing? Automatically it must grow big. You see this? Yeah? Before I put this scale 1.5, it was this size here. Yeah? So now instead of me putting it on the box here, I'm going to put it on the hover here. Yeah? I say scale, I say here transform, scale 1.5. Okay? Members, are you understanding this now? How sweet it's becoming. Okay? So when I come here and I hover, it grows big. Are you seeing? I hover, it grows big. I hover, it grows big and also becomes background red. Okay? Okay. So what am I going to do here? What am I going to do here? Yeah? I am going to come here and I say transition. I'm going to come here and I say, for example, I think should I put it here? Okay, let me put it here. Let me put it here and I see if it can work. Transition, background, silver lighting red 0.4. I don't know whether what I'm doing is right here. I don't think. Okay. I can come here and maybe just say here. Let me first come here and see a transition. No. First pause. So members, you see this, eh? Now I'm going to come on the button itself here. On the button, on the box here itself, eh? And I say something like this. I say transition, eh? I say background, okay? Background, I say 0.4 S is I say here transform 0.3 seconds is, okay, like this, okay, like this. It's how it looks like, yeah. So members, are you seeing how it has become, eh? Members, are you seeing how it has become? I have said transition background 0.4 seconds is transform 0.3 seconds is, okay? Okay? These seconds here are just like this is a timing function we have been using, eh? Is in, is out like that, eh? And I come here, are you seeing? Let me bring down my mouse. I put it like this. You see how it becomes? You see how it becomes? You see what happens? Wow. Wow. Are you seeing this, guys? Guys, are you seeing this? Yeah? Are you seeing this? You can even try it. My code is here. My code is there. You can also come here and also see it's here. I just put your box inside. You see? Body like that. And even my whole code is here. Remember we did the browser reset, the beginning, yeah? It's here. Okay? Okay. So it brings us this nice thing here. Okay? 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 Okay. So members, I hope you are really enjoying this lesson. In our next video, please guys don't miss out. You're going to look at animations or keyframes. Okay? Animations and keyframes. Okay? Okay. Guys, don't miss out. Okay? Okay. So I hope to see you in the next video. Okay? Okay. We have really enjoyed this. Yeah? Okay. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Okay?